Education is one of the central pillars of Governor Babajide SANWO-OLU'S administration, and in the last 2 years, he has invested massively in the sector. So far, more than 1,000 projects have been done across primary and secondary schools in the state. On this edition of Inside Lagos, we are exploring the impact of Governor Babajide SANWO-OLU'S intervention in the education sector. I'm Adedoja Salam Adeniyi, and you're welcome to Inside Lagos.
Ẹni tí òde kò yìn ẹkù kan. Àwa ni Center of Excellence. Ẹni òde kò yìn ẹkù kan. Àwa ni Center of Excellence. Mo ní pé bó o bá dé kò yìn ẹkù kan. Àwa ni Center of Excellence. Àwọn òyìnbó débẹ̀ wọ́n rí tá a jẹ́ ṣe. Àwa ni Center of Excellence. Haúsá débẹ̀ wọ́n rí tá a jẹ́ ṣe. Àwa ni Center of Excellence. Àwọn Ìgbò débẹ̀ wọ́n rí tá a jẹ́ ṣe. Àwa ni Center of Excellence. Gbogbo Yorùbá débẹ̀ wọ́n rí tí wọ́n mú lọ. Àwa ni Center of Excellence. Ẹni òde kò yìn ẹkù kan. Èkó ò ní bàjẹ́ lórí àwa. Àwa ni Center of Excellence. Ọ̀pọ̀ ò bá dé kò yìn ẹkù kan.
A good system of education is one of the vital factors in the socio-economic development of any nation. It is often regarded as a critical investment in the battle against poverty and pushing back the boundary of ignorance. It empowers the individual with the necessary knowledge and set of skills to actualize potential and maximize life's opportunities. It is for this reason that governments across the world invest massively in the education sector. Lagos, Nigeria's commercial capital, is one of the states with the highest number of public schools, students, and teachers. There are more than 1,000 public primary schools in the state, with 683 public secondary schools. It has consistently been churning out the highest number of candidates for public examinations in Nigeria since 1967. With a growing population in excess of 24 million, the provision of qualitative education has been the priority of successive governments in Lagos State over the years.
All are telling you to commission this building for the youth of today. Thank you very much.
For Governor Babajide SANWO-OLU, education and technology is a critical pillar of his theme's development agenda. His administration has continued to show total commitment to the transformation of the education sector in Lagos State since he came on board in 2019. In the last 2 years, the Lagos State government has been investing massively in public schools infrastructure across the state. So far, more than 1,097 projects covering 970 schools have been completed. Some of the projects recently inaugurated by Governor Babajide SANWO-OLU include a block of 18 classrooms with administrative offices, library, laboratory block, toilets, and boreholes, each at Igbobi Junior College, Fasil Omar Senior High School, and Iwaya Girls High School. Iwaya as well has a block of 18 classrooms at the Akiton Junior Grammar School.
In the last 2 years, we have ensured that we promptly construct and rehabilitate over 322 dilapidated structures. We have added almost 100,000 dual composite furniture that have been supplied to our primary and our secondary schools. We are flagging off the school infrastructure renewal project to deliver over 300 new classrooms, which includes 7 new hostel blocks that is added over 2,000 bed spaces in our model schools.
The state will complete all outstanding projects to the highest possible standards. The 3 schools that we've been to were projects that were abandoned that Mr. Governor deliberately and intentionally said we had to finish.
Our focus is to make sure that the out-of-school children menace is drastically reduced. That is why we have designed a program called Project Zero. And the idea behind Project Zero is to be able to provide, socio-economic support to the parents and the pupil of our schools so that they can come to school.
Governor Babajide SANWO-OLU'S education transformation agenda is not only about infrastructure development. He has touched all elements in the value chain of education, including teachers' recruitment and training, curriculum review, and the use of technology. Lagos State has been driving excellence in learning since the launch of ECO-Excel in January 2020. ECO-Excel is designed to improve the outcomes of learning. More than 500,000 pupils and 14,000 government teachers are being retrained and upskilled through this digitization program. To further raise the bar of excellence and make teaching service rewarding, Mr. Governor also demonstrated that teachers' reward are no longer in heaven and combusted the notion that teaching is a thankless job. He presented a brand new car each to 13 outstanding teachers and school administrators at the year 2020 Teachers Merit Award ceremony organized by the Ministry of Education. Some outstanding principals also got Lagos homes.
Never knew that I would be recognized in the bush where I was posted. I call it bush because it's very, very interior, Okumokpo. It's a seaside. So I was just doing my thing. I was just trying to make impact in the community. And here am I standing beside a car because I actually needed a car.
I never imagined it because let me tell you, we don't even have time to even learn how to drive now. But with these challenges now, I have to go and learn to let you know that I'm very, very happy inside of me. And my student in quotes, they did this for me because without them I can never be here.
This is absolutely unexpected. It's wonderful. It's explosive.
These and more have no doubt boosted the morale of teachers in Lagos State. Lagos State Ministry of Education, in partnership with FMDQ and Robert and John Limited, also adopted the Roducate e-learning platform as the state's innovative efforts in ensuring that pupils are learning outside of the classroom. At the peak of COVID-19 lockdown in 2020, Roducate intervention devices were distributed to Lagos State students and were instrumental to their performance in the West African School Certificate examinations. Mr. Governor's intervention in the education sector has been yielding results. The Lagos State students' performance has improved in examinations, national and international competitions. They have also improved in moral standing, etiquette, and confidence in public speaking. Public schools in Lagos State have consistently emerged the overall best at the International Robotics Competition since 2015 and have continued to excellently represent Nigeria at this annual competition. Folashade Adefisayo is the Lagos State Commissioner for Education. Mrs. Adefisayo is a co-educationist who has been a prime mover in the ongoing educational transformation in the state. We met at the Maryland School Complex.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, ma.
Good afternoon. How do you do?
How's work?
All right, thank you. Thank you for joining me on this
Yes.
trip.
You're welcome, ma. Yes.
Thank you.
We are here to talk about the third pillar of Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu's themes agenda, which is education and technology.
Yeah.
That's why we're here.
Okay.
So tell us how Governor Sanwo-Olu's administration in the area of the education sector has been faring so far in the last 2 years.
The themes agenda has required that we follow the whole value chain of education, all the way from recruitment of teachers, training of students, integration with technology, improving infrastructure, supplying textbooks to students, supplying devices to students and teachers in a lot of instances, and just improving skills generally. So we have touched the whole value chain.
The more than 1,000 school rehabilitation and construction. What about that? How has that helped the education sector?
Well, the children must learn in a great environment. We accept that the environment is not the number one factor, but it's so critical that they are in a good environment, in a clean environment, where the classrooms are airy and big enough. The tables are comfortable, they can learn. The board is well appointed, and also that was why we said, look, let's first of all address where they learn. And that's why Mr. Governor invested significantly in where they learn, which is the infrastructure of schools. And that's why we had those 1,097 projects, which included a whole school transformation, new school buildings, furniture and equipment, and fences for some of them.
What other things do you do to boost the morale of teachers?
The most critical factor in any school system is what happens in the classroom between the teacher and the pupil. And we have also invested significantly in this. We've done a lot of training for our teachers. Let me start with the primary school teachers. We've trained them, we've trained all 15,000 teachers on new methodologies of teaching, on the use of a tablet for teaching, on the curriculum itself. So we've spent so much on those 15,000 teachers. And these were residential 3-week courses. So they were quite intensive and deep. And for our secondary schools, we've also done a lot of training. Of course, as soon as we recruit teachers, we have an orientation program. Again, intensive, deep, a lot of learning about the critical pedagogies that we expect them to deploy in the classroom. So we've done that. We've done a lot of training for our school heads as well. Because after teaching, the head is the management of a school is the second most critical factor. If you get the school principalship right, usually you get a school right. So again, a lot of training for our teachers and as head teachers, especially and principals, especially on how to be instructional leaders in the classroom. We've done quite a bit of that. A lot of training on technology so that they get comfortable with technology. We've done lots of other courses, how to make resources in the classroom, how to understand how the brain of a child works. So much that we're doing, yeah.
All right, talking about technology, how much of technology have you introduced to education in the States?
It's a gradual process. But for our primary schools, we've introduced tablets for the teachers. We've also introduced, the lowest form of technology for now is the MP3 players that we gave that was donated to all 500,000 of our primary school children so that they can do online lessons at home. This is a simple technology, doesn't need power. And for the secondary schools, we gave out devices, especially to the terminal classes. And on these devices, we put our curriculum, there are quizzes, there are chat rooms where they can discuss with their teachers, they can test themselves. And so these are some of the investments that we've made deliberately in technology. In implementing the Nigerian curriculum, which we implement in the state, we are all Nigerians. What we've done is that it's the Nigerian curriculum as it should be. So integrated with core skills of creativity, innovation, problem solving, and so on. So we've really readdressed our curriculum. What are we teaching? We spent the last one, it's not something you do in a month, like the last 1.5 years, working with a myriad of stakeholders to rejig our curriculum. And we are going to launch it soon, so that in every class across the state, and I'm very excited about this, the teaching, the way we teach and what we teach will change radically. We still have the exams, but the main thing is we are going to excite the curiosity of the children, help them take control of their learning, build 21st century skills in them, and improve their confidence, and of course, ultimately affect learning outcomes. So that's something we've done.
So how much of monitoring do you do around Lagos schools?
Me personally?
Yeah, you.
I've been to every nook and cranny of this. I've been to all the districts, the education districts, and of course, Ibile. So of course, when it's far away, I would spend the night. So I visited, I don't know how many, primary schools, secondary schools. Of course, they're on holidays now.
What do you do when you visit?
Well, I'm an educationist. I can tell a school. By the gate, I can tell many things. The tone of the school, the ethos of the school, the strength of the principal in managing the school, the excitement of the learners, the teachers, their skills. I can tell. All I do when I go out now is look at infrastructure. That look, all the work that we are doing, have we touched this school? Why haven't we touched this school? What do we need to do in this school? Those are the things I would do now. But once the children are in school, I just read the school and I understand the school. Sorry, I'm not boasting. It's my profession.
Let's talk about road kids. How far have you gone about that with?
Well, the Educate platform is also an e-learning platform like Schools Online, but it's placed on the devices of the students in the school. And we've integrated it with classwork as well. Because in some of our districts, especially those that are far away, the students are actually able to bring to class and the teachers help them work on the platform. So the teachers too have access, send homework on it, and are able to mark it. So it also contains our content.
So how many students have we been able to bring in?
Well, that's the final terminal class, SS3, and there are probably maybe about. We are trying to reach 40,000. We're just going to buy more devices. By the time we're done with that, we'll have reached about 50,000 of them.
Let's talk about the vocational schools.
Well, we
How many do you have in the state?
We have 5 in the state for now, but we are Oh yeah, there's schools. 5 of them all around the Bile, Bile, and they are very big schools actually, and they provide a range of skills, ranging from automobile engineering to construction to home economics and so on for a range of students. 3. It's senior secondary, it's the equivalent of senior secondary. At the end of it, they sit for the NAPTEP, which is the equivalent of WAEC. So some of them, they can't go to university with NAPTEP. It's an acceptable qualification for university.
How free is education in Lagos State?
They are tuition free. Okay. That means they don't pay, for coming to school, our students don't pay anything. They don't pay for the cost of the teachers or the cost of all the things that we've spoken about, infrastructure development, equipping of the labs, and all the things that we are doing. They don't pay for those because it's free education that we are offering.
All right, now talking about free education, I'll take you to the model colleges, the issue that is trending on model colleges. I wanted to shed more light on the feeding fee of model colleges from 25,000 to 50,000, and I heard you say that you first said they will pay 75,000, but they said they're going to pay 50,000. You agreed, and what is going on? In 2006, the school feeding to 2021 is still 25,000. Why are you changing it this time?
Well, thank you again. We offer free tuition. So in the model schools too, they don't pay for tuition. They don't pay for teacher salaries. All the infrastructure improvements that we've been making, and we have invested a lot in all of them, in most of them for now, and it's a phased development. We keep on investing. We have not taken it from, they are not paying for it. But they pay for a boarding fee. It's not really feeding alone. For that boarding fee, because what the promise is free tuition. So the boarding covers the feeding, the cleaning of the premises, the gardening, the security, generator, things like that. Their comfort in school after, in the boarding house, after they must have left the classroom. And so that's what the money is for. So at 25,000, 80% of that was spent on feeding. And when we worked it out, it was 74 naira per child per meal. I don't know how you do it, but I don't think you can feed a growing adolescent on 74 naira. Maybe we could in 2005, 6, and so on. I said 2006, but it's not tenable again today. And parents had been complaining bitterly about the fact that the students are not well fed, they had to supplement, and so on. So we said, look, we want to stop that. Let us even find out how much it costs us to maintain a child in the boarding house. And we found that it cost us a pretty penny. It would cost a pretty penny if we charged commercial rate. But we said, okay, we won't charge commercial, let's charge 75. And we met with them, they refused, and we said, okay, we'll go down to 50. And so that's where we are, because even at 50, it's coming in at double that, maybe less than 200 naira per meal. You know how much a bag of rice is today. It's approaching like 25,000. Those years ago, it was 7,000 or so. So everything has gone up, and we are not being belligerent about this. We understand and we empathize. But we want them also to empathize with government and also understand that it's for the children. And anyway, most of them were spending more than this because because of the small amount that the principals had for feeding, the food just wasn't adequate and they had to supplement. So we are saying we'll remove supplement from you and we'll ensure that they are well fed. We'll monitor and evaluate and ensure that the program runs well.
They say all work and no play makes Jack a dull boy. What other programs do you have for students, especially at the end of the year or something?
Okay.
How do you go about it?
Well, we have a lot of extracurricular activities. So after school, I think there are club days. We have a lot of clubs, and so students are also engaged in after hours.
I was in literary and debate society when I was in
We
school.
have so many clubs. Okay. We even have things like environmental club, agric club, and so on. Yes, so that the students do have other things that they can also do apart from always reading. Like you said, all work and no play. Exactly. And there's sports and so, and we are building up on all these.
Before we go, what are you doing to private schools that don't even put some of these things we are talking about into place? Do you go around to monitor them? Because some don't even have a playground, for instance.
That's the reality we have to face in Lagos State, unfortunately. But we have an Office of Education Quality Assurance, and we've given them the mandate to go around our schools. They're part of the ministry. They're under us in the ministry as well. Go around and approve schools, and also we are working on a grading exercise now, where we'll grade schools. You are free to send your child to any school you want to send your child to, but this is the grade of that school. So, and that will depend on facilities, resources, learning outcomes, teacher quality, and so on.
So what's your message for people who are watching you right now?
Well, let me say thank you. Thank you for listening to me. Education is so critical and so important, and I really must appreciate Mr. Governor, Mr. Adewole, SANWO-OLU'S, because he has empowered us in the education family to do anything that we can do to transform the lives of children. I don't look at this like a job. I don't look at it as something to do. I look at it as a chance, an opportunity to be able to influence the greatness of children of the state. And when we are working with that kind of focus, we'll just stay within that and ensure that we do everything within our power to ensure that every child who comes into this state benefits from coming to the state. So I say thank you to parents. I don't take it lightly that you send your children to us. I say thank you to the community for supporting us. We don't do it alone. Thank you to the private sector for investing in us as well. Development partners. We have so many stakeholders. It's impossible to list all of them. Old students, NGOs, and so on, who have supported our growth. I say a big thank you to all members of staff of the education family who have been working day and night for the implementation of the transformation plan of the state, ranging from the ministry itself, the PAMSECs, its tutor generals, the districts, the principals, SUBEB, TESCOM, LASFEB, Quality Assurance. There are so many agencies, all with a common purpose. I thank them very much. And of course, let me say a very big thank you to TVC for having me on this program. I really appreciate this.
It's our pleasure. Thank you so much for being here too. Yes, education, they say, is the passport to the future, and for Governor Babajide Sanwo-OLU, it is the key to addressing poverty and building a prosperous society. That is why the governor has continued to throw his weight behind the Greater Lagos Education Master Plan, and that does it on this edition of Inside Lagos. Many thanks for being a part of it. I'm Adedoja. Salam Adini.